up, you
I
see
call it
we're
December.
recording.
What?
I'm just kidding. I don't know if we're recording. Are we recording?
I don't know.
God damn it.
Are we recording?
I don't know. You tell me.
Schrodinger's recording session.
We could be recording. I'm not sure.
This is a.
Is it one of those things that you don't know until you observe it?
Yeah. Just, you
I
know.
guess we'll just go with
Quantum physics.
Out of sight, out of mind.
No.
No.
Damn it. I don't know what to do for my 5.
What do you don't know what to do with your 5?
There's like
They're
6
all
on there.
number one.
No. I have 1 through 4.
Uh-huh.
I have 2 for 5 that I can't figure out which one to choose.
Which ones would you watch more often?
I watched them both once. I don't rewatch shit.
That's how you know they're good, if they're rewatchable.
I mean,
They're all rewatchable.
I'm pretty
I just don't
sure-
wanna watch it again.
I'm pretty sure most of the ones on this list, maybe except for one, I've watched more than once.
4 out of my 5, I've seen more than
Yeah,
once.
same. That's what I'm
I've
saying.
seen more than once on most of these, but it's not something that's like I'm gonna sit down and watch these constantly.
No.
You will never guess my 5.
No.
I can.
It's too basic, you can't even.
Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2.
Okay,
Ghostbusters
knowing-
with 3,
knowing
and the
Bob,
girl
no-
Ghostbusters.
knowing
That's
Bob.
4 of them.
Okay, before we get into this, right?
Okay.
Because obviously we already started, right? Welcome everybody to another episode. What?
You want me to start it?
You
I got
motherfucker.
you. I got you. Okay, you're good.
You didn't do shit.
You do
Welcome everybody to another episode of Toddy Rapper. That one time I reincarnated as a porcaster.
You want me to start it?
We are podcasters.
Porcasters.
Are we popcasters?
Popcasters?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We talk about pop music.
Yeah.
So Taylor Swift the other day put out this new song. I don't know what it's called,
Actually,
but
you know, Britney Spears is now free.
Yeah?
The queen of pop.
She the queen of pop.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Based on your movie choices, we might be popcasters because I feel like they're all just basic popular ones.
It's, I Know What You Did Last Summer. 1, 2, and 3.
Fuck yeah. And Scream.
And then we Scream.
All bunched together.
Yeah.
And then number 5, American Pie.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a Pie.
Welcome everybody. Today we are going to talk about spooky films, or Halloween films, or horror films, or
I'm gonna say
Thriller.
Anything
or-
spooky
I'm gonna
related.
say Halloween because there's probably not all of them are spooky. I'm gonna guess.
You telling me Coco is not on your top 5?
If you cried during a Halloween movie, I don't know if it counts as spooky.
what about The Book of Life? Is it The Book of Life?
yeah,
That's the not the Pixar
yeah.
version
That's the
of
other
the same
one.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah. That one.
the one that Guillermo produced.
Yeah, that
I
one.
have a question because the ones I've been choosing between right now, do you think Passion of the Christ counts as a spooky movie? It's a guy that comes back as a ghost.
I mean, you can make the argument that it's a torture porn film.
That's true.
It is a torture porn film.
Well, I'm hitting the audience of the reincarnation.
God.
Welcome to Jesus.
No, so when we talk about Midnight Mass,
Oh, yeah.
they dress up as priests.
I got this.
So we're gonna go through our top 5 spooky movies, or spooky adjacent movies.
Halloween movies.
If you don't know us by now, your host is Eddie.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, I'm your host.
I'm here, Bob.
And I'm over there, Forrest.
Like, if you're not watching on YouTube, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think that's way funner than just listening to our mediocre voices.
See, I think it's the opposite, though.
You think so?
Why are you looking at our ugly faces?
It feels more personable. Like, you're here with us.
Does it? Do we have another chair? This is where they are, just right across
Yeah,
the
they're
table
sitting
from
across
us.
from us.
Well, what you don't know.
But we never looked that way.
What you don't know, there's a person there, and we have one of those little pottery wheels. And when we sit down to make pottery, we can feel you guys behind us.
One of you guys totally picked that movie in your top 5, right?
Whoa.
Bob, that was totally you, wasn't it?
No.
Okay, so to start, like as we always do with a list like this, What were your criteria in putting movies into this list?
Has something to do with supernatural or monster.
Okay.
I can see that.
Okay, okay.
I like the supernatural. You get the horror aspect. You can get like what's it called
That spooky factor.
the spooky no, you get the brain factor where it fucks your brain up.
Ah,
No,
yes,
psychological.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so when you picked your top 5, what were you looking for? Like in whatever spooky adjacent movies you picked.
I don't think I have a very like. It's not very narrow. It's kind of like
Okay.
I chose a little bit from like the spooky,
Yeah, yeah.
a little bit from the monsters, a little bit from not really comedy, but like some of the movies that came out of nowhere in my mind that weren't like they're new, like refreshing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Basically. And I chose. That's the issue right now. Is my top 5 is 2 refreshing movies. I don't know which one to choose. So
See, my top 5 is like, hey, which ones I've seen the most that I really like, right? And then I chose a Mimi one because I feel like it's a really good watch with friends on a Halloween night.
Okay.
I have a Mimi one too, but it's my number 6. I do want to announce. I'll go after.
I have 2 other movies,
Yeah.
but I don't want to change them in my top 5, but I also really like them.
Okay, we can just do like a quick like blah blah blah.
Your
No, blah.
honorary whatever.
Honorary
mention.
mentions?
Honorary mentions. So how'd you choose yours?
I mean, I picked movies that, well, they were experiences that I appreciated
They're
and
like, they
enjoyed when I
fucked
watched
me up
them.
for years.
I still think
Yep.
about them every now and then.
No, not all of them are like that. Some of them have that. But I mean, I picked movies like I enjoyed, not like because I feel like they're movies that are not just constricted by the bounds of their genre. Like they are just good movies.
I can see that.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what I try to do with them. They just use the genre conventions to tell very interesting stories visually. And
I might
stuff.
argue my number 1 is that.
It's
not
Green
like-
Inferno?
Damn it! Fuck, I'm leaving, guys.
I win.
Force is not going to put a torture porn movie.
Love
Yeah.
torture porn.
Dude, my number 1's Green Knight.
Oh, boy.
Oh, okay.
Is that a horror film?
In my
it?
mind, yes.
Or is it what they did to the story horrifying?
No, it's the beginning with the horror Eldritch Beast. There we go.
You mean you mean the Fae Beast?
Yeah. Eldritch, scary as fuck. I don't want to talk about it.
a different episode?
Some would say maybe next episode.
Okay. All right. We'll get to that. Okay, who's starting us? How are we doing this?
I'll start. No, you start with your honorary.
My honorary mention.
mentions.
My honorary mentions are 2.
I have 3, so it's good.
I got Green Inferno,
You fucker.
and my other one
Okay.
is the first Resident Evil.
Okay.
All right.
I was waiting for him to choose one of my top 5s. I was like, damn it.
Willy's Wonderland.
Do you have any that you wanna?
Honorary mentions?
Yeah.
I mean, I there's some that I have to shove out of my list. Like I really wanted to put Evil Dead, but I
Dead is a good
I
one.
didn't
That's a
really
good
want to fully put that in there.
Which one? The OG?
Yeah, OG Evil Dead. Obviously. 'Cause it has to have Ash. You know, it's not Evil Dead
You
without
don't know
Ash.
Ash? He's the best.
Ketchup?
Yeah, Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, it's not
Gotta
evil.
catch
It's
all
not,
the
it's not Evil
zombies.
Dead without Ash.
Demons, I guess.
But Evil Dead was one of the really big ones. I mean, I was gonna put Silence of the Lambs as well, which I replaced
That's a
with
good
something
one.
else. That's another one that I really enjoy. I mean, you have a performance where the man talked for 10 minutes and he got a Best Actor freaking Oscar out of it.
Imagine being best actor
So
for
he needed-
talking.
Wait.
Wait.
No, it'd be crazier if it was Best Actor for not speaking.
There might be a
Nicolas
couple of
Cage.
those.
Nicolas
For Willy's
Cage.
Wonderland.
So I have 4 honorary mentions.
What? You said 3?
Yeah, I just realized I wanted Shaun of the Dead. You know.
Oh, okay.
But my other 3, close to all of our hearts.
Willy's
Willy's Wonderland,
Oh my gosh.
Mandy, and Color Out of Space.
Colorado Space.
Colorado Space.
our Lord and Savior, Nicolas Cage. Those were my honorary mentions. I just wanted to bring those up beforehand.
Nicolas Cage
I heard
films.
you say his name on a mirror 3 times. He shows.
What is he,
Wait.
Candyman?
What?
Yeah.
Do I say cage, or do I do
Yeah,
like
his
the whole?
full-
Or is it
name.
5 times? Is he like Bloody Mary? Or is he like Candyman?
It's Bloody Mary.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay. So there's
You
the
gotta
three.
light
It's the
the
3 times.
I
candle.
think it helps that you.
Light my Nicolas Cage candle. So stupid.
Does he come looking like that?
I hope so.
I'm trying to think. Do we want this one or the Holy Bible one?
Shit.
This one kills you. This one gives you blessings.
I
on
want the
movie.
one from Con Air, whatever the fuck it's called. The
Flowing
luscious
hair.
Okay, that's all you.
Those are
are
my
my
honorable
honorable
mentions. Yeah.
My honorable mentions were gonna be meme ones because I was like, I'm like, damn it, you guys said serious ones. I should put something.
Do you have any?
I never said it.
You did?
Yeah, I said Evil Dead,
Oh, that's right.
and then it said Silence of the
Where,
Lambs.
are you here?
No.
No, he's not.
Okay, fine. Let's get to our top 5. I want to go last
You want to go last?
for 5. Yeah.
So we're just gonna go in order.
So we'll go. So do we want to do everyone or one at a time?
We'll do our top 5s. I mean, like our bottom
5,
our 5
yeah.
together and then 4.
three,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. I like that.
Okay.
Let me pull out
So
my
we start
list.
from my side.
Sure, you go first.
Sure.
All
You're
right.
the
Of course
host.
you're host.
I'm hosting. Okay. So my number 5 is a movie I don't think any of you have watched. It's a Swedish film.
Bullshit. To the ritual?
It's called Let the Right One In.
Nope.
Nope, I didn't think so.
I knew he was a hipster.
Yeah. It's a vampire movie.
Okay.
It's really good. It's super good. I don't know. I just want to gush about this movie because it's a really good movie.
What's it about?
I've never heard of
So I mean, so there's a kid, and yeah, right.
Is he a vampire?
No.
Not
yet.
yet.
No. But they get new neighbors.
Okay.
And one of the neighbors is a chick, and he becomes friends with this chick, and it starts realizing this chick's not,
Is she the girl next door type of girl?
I mean, they're young. They're like younger.
Oh,
They're
actual
kids. They're actual kids.
Okay.
And then he starts finding out that she may be involved in a bunch of really grisly murders in the town they live in.
Is that a Goosebumps story?
I don't know. It's a lot more fucked up than a Goosebumps story.
I don't know.
But I mean it's for me, like, it's the character dynamics and stuff, because it's like the horror elements like instilled in this film, and there's moments that are really tense, and like the way they play with the vampire genre is very like spooky and stuff. But in the end, it's like it's just this. It's almost like a drama in a sense between the relationship of these two characters.
It's in Swedish.
It is in Swedish.
How the fuck you find this movie?
It's a pretty famous one.
You did?
Well, so the way I found it is there's an American remake of it.
Of course there is. And it's shitty, huh?
It's okay. It's called like Let Me In. It's with Chloe Grace Moritz or whatever's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have seen that one.
Yeah. So this is the original version of it.
The better version.
Yeah, the better version of it.
It's like the wreck to the quarantine.
Yes. Yeah.
Weird.
And that's how I found it. Like, because I remember seeing that, and then I found, this comes from this other movie, which is considered like a kind of a classic in that sense. So I watched that. And yeah, it's a much better film. But
It's like what's the French movie with
the District 13
District 13?
Oh.
compared to Brick Mansions.
What are you talking about? Brick Mansions is a masterpiece. Rest in peace, Polo.
But yeah, that was my number 5. I mean, it was one I wanted to be out there, and I was looking through a list, and I saw that. I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this movie, and I've seen it a few times.
I've never heard of it. I'm gonna look it up though.
My number 5 is your favorite movie. It's called The Ritual.
Fuck you guys.
I thought about putting it. I really thought about putting it too, but
Before you go, I gotta talk about the story. So, so I love horror movies, and one day we're just hanging out, and I don't drink as much as they do because they like to get blasted all the time. I
Get
guess.
blasted on one drink.
And so I'm like, I'm gonna put this movie on. And they're like, yeah, sounds interesting. So we're starting to watch it. I get maybe 10 minutes into it, 15. The boring part of horror where you just learn about the characters.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh man, we're out of alcohol. I'm looking over, I'm like, shame, guys. Watching the movie, and like, someone want to go get it? We're all drunk. And I'm looking around like, fuck, that's me. So I leave. For some reason, it takes me like 45 minutes. I don't remember why. I remember bringing, I think it was a Cam with me.
Yeah, you brought Cam with you. Cam and Conrad, I think.
The liquor store isn't that far.
No, but something happened.
Like Josh's
we
house,
probably
right?
had to stop for like something else. I don't know. It was like
probably dropped by Smith's.
Yeah, we probably stopped to get food or something too.
To get limes or ice.
Yeah. All I remember is coming back inside, like, because I was rushing because I wanted to watch the movie.
It was at the apartment.
Yeah,
it was
at the apartment. Yeah. And I was rushing to get back, and I'm like, I want to get at least some of this movie. And I get back to the ending where the fucking Eldritch Beast is there and everyone's dead. And I'm like, what happened? They're like, it's a great movie. I'm like, but I saw the ending. I don't want to watch it now. So I never got to watch it.
It's pretty great.
It's very good.
Monsters are top tier.
The monster.
Monsters.
So
Singular.
The people.
Oh yeah, I guess the people.
So what happens in the ritual? Like, besides the beginning part where they just go on a walking trip.
So simply, they go on a walking trip and they stumble into the domain of a Yotun.
Okay.
And that's basically the movie.
Oh, okay.
That's the best way to describe what this movie is.
And they're like, oh, what the fuck where are we here? What's going on? Oh, who are these people? Oh, no, we're dying. Oh, shit, monster.
Man, the last thing I remember walking out the door seeing is they made it to, like, a spooky cabin. They had all these,
like a village,
little symbols.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm like, witch or some weird shit. I'm like, I love this stuff. And I'm gone.
It's similar.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it is. They just stumbled into the domain of a Yotun, and I guess the Yotun, like, conscripts followers from people that stumble in there. And the whole ritual is, like, the process of which you become, like, a follower of this son of Loki, is what they call it. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I saw the ending where they were just like a weird village of people praying to the...
And then they obviously the main characters have all these past traumas and stuff. Yeah. And like while they're in this forest, the Yotun as part of the ritual kind of like forces them through that trauma.
Okay.
And there's all these like, weird flashbacks and shit like that. And all the creepy shit.
We really recommend.
Yeah, it's a very good movie.
It's a hidden gem in Netflix.
There's not enough of those.
It's a very good movie.
Came out of nowhere.
One day I'll watch it, guys. One day.
Go watch the middle of the movie.
Yeah. I'm always mad because, when you scroll through Netflix, you get recommendations. It's always out there. I'm like, I want to watch it, but I already know.
You're not watching it out of pure spite at this point.
Pretty much. It's literally
that. You can speed run it now.
No, I'm just gonna sit through it again.
It's
Maybe
good.
Not the first 10 minutes.
I don't know. I like it a lot. It's very good.
It's been like 3 or 4 years. I think you.
Yeah, I think you're good.
I think you forgot most of
it. Okay, so my number 5.
I want to guess.
Okay, I
want to guess. Number 5. Popular.
Yeah. So the 2 movies, if you guess it, I'm gonna choose it. So
okay.
So
I forgot.
They're both popular and they're both genre defying. Like they
Malignant.
Fuck yourself.
Okay. No me. Okay. Shit.
I just thought of another one that would have been good.
Saw number 1.
Fuck.
No.
Oh. Okay. I gave up.
You got one?
I'm trying to think. No, I have no idea.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, you were hoping we'd pick one of them? I have no fucking idea.
Give me another clue.
They're two different genres. Well, but they carved out their niches. One has a number 2 and one doesn't.
Is a 1 28 Days Later?
No.
Oh, fuck.
One has a number 2.
One has a number 2.
It's Train to Busan.
No.
Fuck.
One more guess, and I'm just gonna say
The Wailing.
No.
Do it.
It Follows.
Oh fuck, that is a good movie.
Because to me, It Follows is one of those movies where it doesn't do what most horror movies, where it is a monster, but it's basically just AIDS that have been following you the whole time. I do like how they do it though, because it's like they can see it coming, and other people can too, but they can't really tell that it's evil. It's just like a weird looking person. But I do like how they do it. It's just a never ending dread of something following you, and you can't do anything. The only thing you can do is bang someone else to pass it on.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
And then, so how it works? Have you seen it?
No.
Oh.
So It Follows is It's an STD. So when you bang someone, the monster moves on to that person. But if the monster catches up to that person, kills them, it goes back after you. So you're hoping that people can just keep passing it on, but it's just a slow-moving monster. Like, it's walking. It doesn't run. It doesn't try to chase you. And
you're getting killed by that. The motherfucker's walking. And
yep.
Like, oh, no.
And the thing is, it can change into people. So, like, it will look at, like, one person one day, next second it's somebody else.
So it's like the thing, but
yeah.
an STD.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a really good movie and how they do it.
It is a good movie.
It's walking AIDS.
Yeah, dude.
Shit.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. The other one was
on Netflix?
I don't know where it's on. I remember seeing it on, I don't remember, Prime probably.
Shit. Prime has a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I pirated it.
Probably. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you've seen it.
Because
it's a newer.
Man, wish it were sponsored by Shudder.
So many good Shudder movies. I can't watch anymore. I don't want to pay for it. But
it's so hard to choose. Remember when you had it for a month? We're like, what am I gonna watch? There's so many options.
I tried to burn through as many movies as I could. But that's my number 5. I may talk about the other one at some point if someone else brings it up.
Dude, can you do the Watch Mojo voice? Top 4.
Top 4.
Number 4.
He's got the better voice.
There you go.
Number 4. My number 4 is a movie you mentioned. It's The Wailing.
Hey.
God tier movie.
It's so good.
So fucking long.
Of course it is. I mean, it's a slow burn. It's what it is. But good lordy, is it great.
I do remember watching this movie. So I watched it by myself. And I think I've seen this movie like 3 times.
Jesus.
Because I watched it by myself. And I'm like, this is a pretty good movie. And then I watched it, I think with you and Eric.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, this is really, really good. And like, the first time I watched it, I think I missed some of the like clues.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a movie you have to pay attention to.
Uh-huh.
And then it's I think the third time I just watched because I was like, I should watch this again. And I was like,
I will say is that the atmosphere of this movie is amazing. The editing is fucking god tier.
the scene where they're doing the ritual the first time is fucking crazy.
Fucking chef's kiss. It's so good. It's just like so many things of this, like the way this movie burns, the way the world kind of slowly builds as like the mysteries unraveling and stuff, and just like the sheer eeriness of what that is as you start to realize how everything's falling into place.
Yeah.
Because the movie misdirects you in so many ways and throws red herrings in places, and it does all these things. But by the time you get to the end, you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah. The first time I watched, I couldn't like tell basically who the bad guy, villain, or whatever you want to call him. Because there's so many misdirects that you're like, this is evil. No, this is evil. Are they all evil? Are they all good? I can't tell.
I mean, it's a little mixture of everything, right? I mean, that's what makes movies like this so great. It's the weird ambiguity of like everything involved. Mm-hmm. But it's, I mean, as far as atmospheric horror is concerned, because I don't think it's a movie that really relies so much on like jump scares or
There's
cheap
like no
thrills
jump scares.
or I mean, it just lets you like what's the word I'm looking for? It lets you like marinate in just the dread of this film.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those films where I don't know where to put it, like as a film. Like what type of horror is it? Is it? It's not a monster horror, even though it kind of is, because you have like a devil and you have a zombie at one point.
Psychological.
Couple zombies.
Yeah, I guess a couple zombies, but it's very it's not religious horror.
Well, it's like folkloric.
Yeah,
because it draws on whether it be between Korean or Japanese folklore.
Yeah,
it does pull from that, and maybe that's why it also feels the way it does. Like because it feels very old in like the scares it brings out from you, right? Because it tries to tap into more like I guess you could say primal back fears than your standard, I'm a ghost in a house.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very it comes from those older traditions, and especially with like the scenery of those backwater areas of Korea and everything like that. It like really brings that atmosphere out super well. I love this movie. I love it a lot.
10 out of 10 easily.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
It was a movie I was gonna put on my list, but he said he had it, so I'm like, easy, I'll cross it off.
Nice. My top 4.
Your number 4.
My number 4.
Your top 4 is
number 4.
Train to Busan.
Son of a bitch.
Is both your number 4s that? Yeah.
My number 4 is also Train to Busan. What a crazy.
We went Korean for number 4. All right, let's go.
Damn it. I'm going to get rid of my number 4 and put my other 5 in.
All right, Train to Busan.
It's got Best Boy in it, and then he also has Best Boy number 2 from Squid Game.
Best Boy.
I say Squid Game, guys.
Oh yeah,
Squid Game.
Okay, I'm gonna put that. We're gonna put that in the title now.
What else do we have?
You got strong Best Boy.
Strong Best Boy.
When we say Best Boy in Korean, there's only 3 Best Boys, but Best Boy is strong Best Boy.
Whose name I don't remember.
I don't remember his name.
And then Best Boy is like the dad from
Parasite.
Parasite.
I've seen so many movies with him in it.
Also don't remember his name.
I feel like Train to Busan is just such a good addition to like the zombie genre.
It's amazing.
I love it.
It like the tension it brings out, the way it plays with the different rules that they give the zombies and stuff like that. Obviously, as any zombies movie works, just the sheer villainy and douchebaggery of people in those situations.
I love
the
characters.
That's on full display, and I feel like every character is kind of layered in its own way, which makes you I feel like connect with them so much more. So like as the movie progresses, you're just like, fuck, my boy.
It's very personable.
Yeah.
I like their little character development they go through.
And like the
they
banter.
experience everything. Yeah.
I think Train to Busan's one of those movies that I don't really like fast zombies.
Yeah.
But I think they do it perfectly. Like how they use, they're not smart or great at all. Because I feel like the slower ones, at least, you have that, dreaded horror. Where this, it's just, constant movement. But when there is downtime, it is still scary as fuck. Like, when they're going through the train and they're surrounded, it's like, I'm going to crawl to save my family. And they're on top of the rafters.
The tension.
You're like, they're gonna die. They're gonna die.
Oh, dude, when the homeless guy fell, and he was like, "Oh shit,
GG, it's over. Leave him be."
I fucking hated that old guy, that rich guy. And you're like, "No, fuck these guys." I'm like, "Oh no."
Dude, I don't really want to spoil the ending, but the ending is just—it's amazing how many people survive. I should say at the end.
I mean, I feel like it's par for the course, right? For a zombie film, even if we're going back, you see something like Dawn of the Dead, or if we're gonna go more foreign, you see something like Wreck.
But there were certain characters I didn't believe would die because they're just they're side main characters.
This they got couple. I thought they were gonna make it.
I thought we were gonna make it
because they got protagonist energy.
Yeah.
And I think the ending was very cathartic for me. I'm like, yeah. And
then we got to see the movie after. That's God tier.
Don't watch the second one.
And don't watch the animated short.
I don't watch it either.
That's garbage.
Yeah, just shitting on the original movie. Also, don't watch the American remake.
There's an American remake? I
to
forgot that. Yeah, they are doing that.
Oh, they're making it?
Yeah, I remember that now.
It's probably going to be shit.
Yeah, it probably is going to be shit. And shit on
I can't remember. I can't think of a time where they adapted a Korean film into an American film and it being good.
I was thinking of The Grudge. Wait, that's Japanese.
That's Japanese.
Also pretty shitty.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess The Ring is fine, but that's also Japanese.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of Old Boy, because there's an American version of Old Boy.
I think there's a version of Riot too.
Yeah.
Or Raid. Sorry.
Raid. Yeah.
But I don't think it's as good.
It's just not the same. They just don't know.
Stop remaking films and let them be.
I feel like every time they do it, they don't fully understand what it is that makes the film.
See, instead of remaking them, just give them money to the Korean filmmakers. Profits.
No.
Everybody wins.
We've learned, don't give them money. That's how we got Peninsula.
I thought that was very we're gonna make it for the American.
Is that what it was? I thought it was we finally have a budget. That's what it felt to me.
That they made it more towards the American side of the
probably. Well, it's probably American, and they were here's double the money, so you can use shitty CG. Man, I can't talk today.
Shitty CGI.
Make it
shitty
CGI. Canceled.
Make it action packed. Get fucking what's his name?
Because I found the other
Transformers guy.
Fucking Michael Bay.
Michael Bay to do.
Because I feel like the first one is very action-y.
It is.
Yeah. But they just went extreme. They were action and horror. Now if we combine them, but we throw away the horror We have an action movie.
It became
You
like
want
Without likable characters.
Yeah.
it became kind of like how World War Z was.
Yeah.
How that movie is.
I feel like
World War Z feels hard to adapt from that book.
It's extremely hard to adapt.
no. So to me, World War Z is a good zombie movie with the wrong title.
It's true.
If you get rid of the title
World War Z.
and just made it like zombie
It's a
general
standalone.
zombie movie, and you're like, oh, it's not a bad zombie movie.
It's true.
Anything zombie do, I'll eat it up.
I mean, it's because you have that connotation to that. Because I mean, it's so different.
Yeah.
It's so different than what that book
different.
is.
It's not, because the zombies are fast.
I
compared
do
to
feel
slow
like
zombies.
World War Z would make a good series,
The TV
like
show.
TV
Oh,
series,
yeah, it would be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
TV
especially if they filmed it like a documentary,
HBO.
like how the book
Dude,
is.
HBO, what the fuck you doing?
show. This is your thing.
Because that's what I would feel like be the best adaptation for that book.
Yeah. I would love to see that. but will we get it? Probably
Nah,
not.
If we tweet him enough, maybe.
Maybe.
Everyone, use our power to tweet at whoever wants to make the movie or show.
Told you number 4 again?
Oh, my number 4. I trained the Quiet Place. Quiet Place was my definitely number 4. So I thought Quiet Place also had the same like thing as It Follows. It has its own genre defying. Like it uses silence, and to me, no other movie does. Cause
I like how people are trying to copy it,
oh yeah,
but not very well.
no, because I feel like there's like even no music through this movie. There is music tones.
Yeah.
Like when when their monster is out, but for the first 45 minutes, half of the movie, you see nothing besides the kid being fucking snatched by some random creature that you never see.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, this is fucked.
that kid was dumb as shit. Let me steal this toy.
No. He was fine. He could have stole the toy, but he put the batteries
Oh, yeah, that's right, he put the
in.
bat-
He's like, I'm going to hit choo-choo. Burn.
And they're like, what have you done?
And then death.
If I was the father, I would look back and be like, saluted.
You flip him off.
Because I really like this movie. It has that tension that like not all monster movies have.
It's very different.
It is
Yeah.
very.
Yeah.
The only issue I had was I thought the ending was a little bit weird
Oh yeah.
with the like
Yeah.
we're
I mean-
gonna kill the monster with sound.
Well, I mean-
like what?
I mean, if you really think about this movie, like the plot of this film,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes some serious jumps in logic for
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of things and the way they
yeah.
the way they establish rules and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean that I don't think that's the way you're supposed to look at this movie.
Of course not.
Because I mean, this is one of those movies to me where like I don't think people normally, because in a lot of films, everyone you'll praise directing and like even like cinematography, but people forget about things like the sound engineers.
Yeah.
Because the sound engineers are what make this film.
This is the first time where I think sound is important to a film.
Like just the stuff they did and the way they recorded things and the way they leveled things and stuff like that just make this film. Because what it is, it's what's at the forefront. Because I mean, I feel like the cinematography is very by the numbers, pretty
Yeah,
normal.
nothing crazy.
I mean, the directing is good. I mean, for the pure fact that what's his
No
face?
clue his name.
Oh, good lordy, the name
guy
just
from-
John
escaped me.
Krasinski?
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Krasinski. Like the way he because this is a movie too. Like if you look at its script, it's so dope.
Yeah.
Like the way they structure the script and everything to try to convey this feeling of, hey, this movie has almost no dialogue because no one can talk.
Some would argue I love 2 movies with no dialogue.
Oh, is this a trend?
It's a trend. Forrest doesn't like dialogue.
That's my thing. My number 1 movie, Crazy.
That means he loves black and white movies. With
Silent films?
Yeah, Vampire. Love that movie.
Nosferatu is also really good. But yeah, and I feel like this is just one of those movies where that side of film shines so well.
I think it's just such a good concept, and I think the scene that just made me the more stressed was when she was giving birth.
Oh yeah.
Well,
And he was like, bro.
the thing that fucked me up the most was the nail.
Oh, that was my second
Because
one.
when they put the nail in the ground, I'm like, oh no,
Oh, no,
I
this
can
is
see
just-
what's happening. And that's always like, I just hate things when it's small, it can fuck you up like that. I'm like, damn, she's gonna die from tetanus in like 2 years. It's over.
I mean, this movie is like a perfect example of not only using like Chekhov's gun in like the best way you can, but like letting that just brew in you, and then as the tension's rising, that's when it brings it back, and you're just like, oh shit, here it comes.
That whole part is amazing. I said that last 5 minutes. You can probably get rid
out
of
of place. I'm like,
it's
fine,
it's
I
a
guess.
monster movie, so it makes sense that at the end that kind of happens.
The second one, it's not better, but it's not worst.
Okay.
I do want to watch it. I just realized I'm like, I haven't watched it. I'm gonna watch it probably this weekend.
It's really good.
Sweet.
It's got Cillian Murphy in it.
It does.
I'd argue that would be my number 5. I passed my number 4. But there you go. Up to you on number 3, my friend.
Number 3. Okay, so my number 3 is
let me change my goddamn list.
is meta. It's a meta film. That's why I love it.
A meta film?
Yeah, it's Cabin in the Woods.
It was also on my list that I
that
took
was
off.
on my honorary mention. yes.
Cabin in the Woods is one of those movies that I feel like it's so good for, especially if it's a movie that you go into not knowing anything about it.
It's great. If
I
you
did that.
know anything about it,
That's what I did.
I knew the scene where all the monsters come up and they fuck up all the guards, right? Because I saw it as a GIF.
Oh.
So then when I watched it, we were like, oh, this is from this movie? What?
Yeah, I never saw that. I mean, I remember seeing Cabin in the Woods, like you see like the promotional poster or whatever's, because I didn't watch it when it came out. Obviously, I watched it later. But you see it and you're just like, oh, it's just it's
Normal,
one of these
kids stuck in a fucking
it's one of these
forest.
movies.
Oh no!
And then I always
want to fuck all the time.
and then I always read it was like a must see film, right? And then that's all that it ever
That's all
says.
I
That's
heard
all,
too, yeah.
and that's all anyone should say about this movie.
Sorry, I was looking at just
the cast.
at the cast.
The cast is great too.
92 on Rotten Tomatoes.
But I feel like this movie is just perfect for what it does.
Yeah. It's
And
one of those movies that if you haven't seen, you're basically fucked because it's been out there for so long that you
Like,
probably
what are you
know
doing?
you probably know everything about
Uh-huh.
it too. And I feel like I've watched this movie more than once, but I don't feel like it has the same impact the second time watching.
Yeah. I mean, you do see some more little details and stuff, and I think every time you watch that movie again, you see more of, I guess you could say, the jabs that they do with the genre. Because this is a movie that like it uses so much detail in the way it spoofs what it is. And like the more you see it, the more you see that stuff, and I can appreciate that.
It's not like
No,
just
obviously.
all down your throat. Like,
Yeah.
this is a joke, guys.
Yeah.
To me, it's the exact opposite of like Scream, where Scream to me is a spoof of the horror franchise.
It's very obvious spoof.
Yeah, where this is a spoof, but not really at the same time.
Because it still takes itself seriously.
it takes itself very seriously.
Yeah, and I mean, and I love what they did with the world building, and I love the idea and like the stuff that I guess you could say what causes I guess the supernatural element and stuff like that is all things that are close to my heart, and like in the sense of it's genres and stuff that I like a lot.
I don't know how, because I watched it for the first time last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I avoided all of these fucking spoilers.
I don't know how you did that.
Because I just wanted to blink.
Yeah.
I know this scene, but I didn't know it was from that movie.
Yeah.
And we're just like, wow.
Because I think
refreshing.
how I saw it was probably like a year or two later when it was on like DVD or something.
Yeah,
My friend's like, oh, I got this. I'm like, oh, it sounds cool.
Yeah.
So I just watched it. No fucking clue. I was like, damn, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's all I want to say about this film.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is a film that I do like to keep untainted.
Yeah.
Because it's just so good. Watch it.
Spoiler free, guys. Holy shit.
This is the first time we did it.
We did it, guys.
This movie's sacred to me.
Pull the confetti.
Number 3. My number 3.
You're number 3.
It's
So,
28 Days Later.
okay.
I knew someone had it.
It's my
Fucking
favorite
pucker
zombie
in there.
movie of all time.
It's so good.
It's a great movie. It would have been in my mentions, but I could have mentioned like 3,000 movies at this point. Basically, I'd say all the top 5 on everyone is probably going to be
honorable
somewhere in our top 30, top 100.
Yeah, I think I watched that. I think I was like 8 years old. So it was very. It impressed me so much at that age, right? It's also the first time I saw fast zombies, like in a movie or in anything.
I feel like it's one of the first movies that like really.
Because I have a movie like that on mine where it's like young age that really fucked me up, but it's so good.
And I can just watch it all the time. I think I've seen it at least 6 times
Really?
since then.
I've seen it a few times.
I've seen it a handful.
I'm so sad the sequel is just not the same.
It wasn't the same.
Not quite.
Aren't
the
they
same.
making a third one too?
They
I
are.
hope so. 28 months later.
Yeah. Can't wait for 28 years later when it's just normal people doing normal things.
28 decades later.
It's like, oh, okay.
It starts again.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I think that the movie. What I think is because I feel like 28 Days Later is not really a movie about its zombies, as much as it is like it's a very people centric
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
It's very character driven.
Yeah, it's very, and I mean, I feel like that's any of these, like, a good horror film has good characters. It just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because you can, once you have a good character, you can throw them in any situation, and you're invested because you know the characters are dope. And I feel like that's what 28 Days Later does so well, because all these characters are like you're just invested into what they are and into the situation. And I feel like it didn't have to be zombies, you know? It could be in any other insert supernatural horror element here.
Yeah.
And it would still, you know, be decent to a certain degree of people struggling through whatever that is.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where I remember watching it, and it definitely has that vibe of you're like, it's like you're like, this is a big zombie movie, but you just don't. I don't feel like you ever deal with they ever deal with them as much as like most zombie movies do. Because like Train to Busan, that's like the center point is zombies.
I mean, you can make the argument that it's a difference in budget.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
it wasn't like an indie movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that serves the film so well. Like I said, it becomes character focused. It becomes characters in this world that are overrun by super freaky, crazy zombies.
I also do think it's weird to say. I think horror is always done better with $0. It's weird to say because even like
I think
nowadays,
it just pushes your creativity.
Yeah.
well, even nowadays, like the big money makers is normally horror because it costs fucking $10 to make. And you get a lot of weird stuff like Paranormal Activity and fucking like.
It's like
all that
the
shit.
first Paranormal Activity, the first Saw.
Yeah.
They were all like $20,000 budgets and made
Yeah.
like a couple million.
And then they spawn, a whole genre of that or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just
And then they go on
franchise
for
and-
7,000.
and you're just like, you made too many.
Yeah.
You fucked it up.
It's like,
I
you
mean,
can stop at 2, please.
I feel like horror is a genre that benefits from simplicity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you take something like, it's not fully considered horror, but if take something like Jaws, right?
Yeah.
Where you never see the shark until, the
It
very
was
end.
an accidental great movie.
It was an accidental great movie. But the point is like, I think it's like a staple of showing how like simplicity works so well for those types of films.
I do wonder because Jaws 2 is my picture of what Jaws 1 would have been.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the animatronic going zap zap
Yeah.
because it's in water.
You're telling me, electric and metal don't work in salt water?
But I mean, actually, that's one of my favorite like tidbits of Jurassic Park because they had the same problems.
Yeah.
Because they did the raining scene with the T-Rex, right?
Yeah.
So the water would get into the animatronics, so it'd start futzing with it. So every so often they'd be eating on set, and the T-Rex would just start moving,
Oh,
like by
shit.
itself, and it would just fucking freak people out.
GG, it's over. It's come alive. God.
But I thought that was always one of the funny things on that one. But yeah, dude, 28 Days Later is great.
Great
Great
movie.
movie.
It's a really
I
good
wish they
movie.
would have done the second one with the same characters.
I think it would have made more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
But I think they just want to show the universe. So
yeah.
can
I
see
mean, with bigger scope, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I mean is always it's almost like a little bit of like a sequelitis. So let's say it's like the idea of the next one needs to be bigger and better.
more
where-
money, more time, more
Where
production.
instead of like, well, you could just do maybe not the same thing, but you can keep it on the same scale.
yeah, change the variation of it.
dude, the second one has Hawkeye in it.
Is
You're
Jeremy
not wrong,
Renner in
I
it?
forgot.
Oh, it
Yeah.
does have Jeremy
Yeah,
Renner in it.
does. Young Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. I rewatched it not too long ago. I'm like, I know this guy. What are you doing here?
Well, I did that the other day with Mars Attack.
Oh,
I'm like, dude, this cast is loaded, and they're all like 15.
Well, it's like when we watched Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko's the
When I
same way,
watched
too.
to Eight-Legged Freaks.
Eight-Legged
I
Freaks.
love Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah. But like, I remember Donnie Darko was I remember when we watched, when I showed you and Eric the movie.
It was like, what's his? He was in Pineapple Express.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen. Ashley Tisdale.
Crazy Steve.
Crazy Steve.
I don't remember that actor's
I
name.
do wonder
but
which one has a bigger cast, like now.
yeah.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze, Drew Barrymore,
yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal, and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I feel like Mars Attack is
Mars
way
Attacks
bigger.
is pretty good too.
Because you have Jack Black, you have
Yep.
James Bond.
Uh-huh.
Jack Black is in it?
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't seen it. In like
You have
such a
the
long-
short guy that's bald.
Like Mini-Me, that guy?
No. Fuck.
Don't
Or
worry,
Danny DeVito.
I'm looking
Danny
it up,
DeVito,
man.
yeah.
Or Danny DeVito.
Dude, Jack Nicholson. Natalie Portman's in that movie.
Yeah, the fucking cast is huge.
Glenn Close. What?
Mars Attacks, dude.
Bruh.
That's such a good movie too.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox.
I went to watch it again. I'm like, where's Jack Black? And I was watching. I'm like, oh, that's Jack Black? How old is he? Like 10? Like, fuck. He's
Sarah
so
Jessica
young.
Parker.
Yeah, I know.
I'm telling you, this movie would cost nowadays like $2 billion to make.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Well, maybe not, right?
No.
Like, because if you think about it, I mean,
$2 billion.
you know, we have like the Wes Anderson movies,
Well, yeah.
whose fucking Bill call list is like
But he does it with
huge.
He does it with friends. Basically, is the only way I could think of it.
I feel like Tim Burton probably did the same thing in that time
Probably.
period.
I feel like a lot of these actors at the time were lesser. Like they were still like A-rated actors, but they're not like now. I consider them all S's almost.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like,
That
holy
would
fuck.
be- But
Maybe.
they were just A, not double A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just starting their baseball league. Anyway, might as well go on to my number 3. I like The Conjuring as my number 3.
Conjuring 1.
I'll put the 1 because I feel like you got 1 and then it just does that.
It does.
Very hard.
Then I feel that way probably about any horror series, any horror franchise kind of does the same thing.
I feel at least, it kind of like most horror to me is like step down, step down. This to me it just fucking plummeted. Because I think Conjuring 1 is just such a masterpiece in my mind. And I only watched it when we were at your place, like back in the apartments. Because I remember watching it, I'm like, oh, I heard this movie's good. So I put it on. I'm like,
Get traumatized
damn.
for life.
I was like, this is the best horror movie of all time.
Yeah, I've
And
never
I
seen
look
this
back,
movie.
like,
I remember the second one I watched it in the theaters. I was like, oh shit, but it wasn't as good as the first one.
Because I did watch the second one. I'm like, it's still scary, but I think watching them so close together, you can feel the big difference. And then obviously 3 and
The
the,
third
new
one,
one is fucking
It's garbage.
Yeah, just really goes downhill. But the first one, you get it's just basically a normal haunting where the family gets haunted by a fucking ghost. And
So it's like, I think the best way I've heard it described. Have you ever seen the Amityville Horror?
yes,
I feel like that's like probably its closest
yeah,
equivalent.
I'd put it in there. I could see that.
Yeah.
It hits all those like just niches I like because it has that religious horror and possessions and stuff. I really like that stuff, and my list doesn't have much of it. 'Cause I
Surprisingly.
try not to. But it does just hit that religious horror perfectly, where they come in and you're like, these crazy guys are stupid, but somehow they exercise it, I guess, But love this movie. Would
I
recommend.
love that movie.
Nice.
Another one that comes to mind is the Insidious. The first Insidious is pretty good.
Yeah.
It was the same director, right?
Yeah. And
You're gonna say The Nun and Annabelle.
no. It's like this guy's a writer,
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, honey, let's go move into this haunted house so I can write a book, right?
Oh, I've heard of this one. I
And
don't know the name of it
then-
though.
It's like once you watch a movie or like a film thingy,
Yeah.
it like possesses your kid, and then your kid kills your family.
What?
Yeah, what's it called? Fuck.
I don't know,
I don't remember.
but your premise that you just mentioned is very similar to my number 2.
Oh shit.
Insidious?
No, it's older, which is The Shining.
I saw it on there. I'm like, he's gonna put that movie.
Which
No
is
doubt.
which is The Shining, which is the same. A guy goes to a hotel to write a book.
With Shining.
Yeah, it was Shining.
I mean, it's the Stanley Kubrick Shining, obviously.
Okay.
Obviously, if we're gonna talk about like film,
Of course, we're talking about film.
and
We're
then-
talking about books. Disgusting.
And I mean, the book Shining is okay. Shining.
Wow, that's a first.
That's a first for him.
Or for
Yeah.
just anything.
I mean,
Who would say the movie's better than the book?
the Forrest Gump movie's better than the book.
I know it was a book.
There's examples. I mean,
Never read
it doesn't normally happen, but there's examples.
So you say Shining is number 2. Is your number 3, like if you had to redo your list, is it the second movie that came out recently?
Dr. Sleep?
Dr. Sleep?
I still haven't seen that.
Don't.
okay.
That movie's like, you got to read the book to understand that movie.
Oh.
Because it makes no goddamn sense.
Well, because the problem with when Dr. Sleep came out is like, so Dr. Sleep relies so heavily on book Shining.
Uh-huh.
So when they made the movie, they tried to make it a sequel to both book Shining and movie Shining, which doesn't fully work if you don't know book Shining.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, book Shining has so much shit. Like lore,
magic and
lore,
shit that goes
magical. There's names to shit because that's what Stephen King does. Which Stanley Kubrick took it and was like, I don't need any of this shit. We're just going to go with the straight
structure of the story.
Yeah, the straight horror of what it is. And that's what he did. And it's one of the reasons it's so great.
So it's weird for me. So I like The Shining. I think it's a great movie.
Yes.
But it's not one of those movies that I watched that ever fucked me up. Like, I remember watching it as a kid, like, this is a horror movie. You can't watch it. I watched it. I'm like, is I supposed to be scared in this movie?
I watch it now and it's kind of funny.
It's funny, but it never had that same, like, horror element in my mind. Whereas, like, I didn't get the there's no jump scares, except I guess if you want to talk about where he breaks through the wall. I guess that's scary.
Here's Johnny.
There's nothing, like, in my mind that's pushing me to be like, my mind's freaking out because I'm being chased or these fucking creepy ass kids down the hallway.
It's just
like,
I think it's just
like,
watching him
horror.
go insane.
Yeah, it's uncanny.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
It's uncanny and it's tense and almost uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think the movie's built to make you uncomfortable. Maybe not necessarily scared, but it is tailored to make you uncomfortable throughout all of it.
Like Green Inferno.
No, that one. I think that's worse than uncomfortable. That's just sick. But I mean, and from the wallpapers to like Stanley Kubrick is notorious for very calculated shots and stuff, and the way he does things and how things are paced and the way he films things, it's built just to prime that uncomfortable sense of dread.
Yeah.
More than it being just like, I'm afraid.
See, you say the wallpaper. I think it would be a good idea to put that, like, I think it would be good in your house because you have that long hallway downstairs. And you get the carpet. I think it would work out
the
really
carpet
well.
And
we get the 2 kids.
Yeah.
The twins.
Every Halloween they come by, like, they stand in the hallway.
You give your dog a tricycle.
That scene made no sense to me. I was like, what? What am I watching?
It just is. It's a fever trip.
Oh, yeah.
Is what The Shining is.
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not.
it's
But
good.
it's just one of those, like, horrors. I'm like, what type of horror am I watching? Where am I?
All horror.
It's just a fever trip.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just what it is.
It's like Lord of the Rings when Frodo wakes up and then Gandalf is there. It's like that. The whole movie.
Spooky.
All right, Bob.
Are we on number 2?
Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Midsommar.
That's not surprising in the slightest.
I'm not surprised, but I'm
Fucking
surprised he
love that
put that
movie.
movie so high.
Well, I was wondering where he's, because I mean, I was expecting your whole list just to be A24 movies.
I had to keep it.
He had to diversify.
Diversify.
He's like, I got stocks and I'm gonna put them in different spots.
Because when you said my stuff is like pretty basic, I'm like, it's all A24 movies, isn't it? It's fucking Hereditary. I got The Witch in there.
Another bitch.
Hereditary is a really good movie.
Yeah. Midsommar.
I love Midsommar.
There's a space one that I can't remember. I think it's called like
Colorado Space.
I think it's called like Life or something like that. That's another one.
Wait.
With what's his face? I don't remember his name.
There's a Life one where it has like Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal. That one?
I don't think it's that one.
There's
I don't
another
remember what
one
it's called.
High Life.
No.
And it has Patterson in it.
I don't think it's that one either.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I can't remember what it's called. It's like them in space and they're doing like experiments on people. up there. And it's like a psychological. It has a. There's a famous actor, but I can't remember who it is.
I guess we'll never know.
Unless I look it up.
I know we fucked up. Can I see that remote for 2 seconds? It was just for 2 seconds. We should have done something. Halloween month. There we go. We're only an hour late into the film, but now we're spooky.
Spooky. Right before reaching our number ones.
If you're listening to on Spotify, we just changed our background to red.
From purple to red. We're ready.
From blue to red.
We just changed the mood, as we get to number 1.
Red pilled it.
We're still at 2.
Oh no, I think I really like Midsommar. Just the way it was filmed, the music, and like culty vibes.
Yeah.
So it's not really like scary.
So what is Midsommar? Because I saw Hereditary and people say it's not really like a sequel, but
it's not supernatural.
Yeah.
It's not supernatural. It's just a cult.
It's just a cult.
It's just disturbing.
It's very disturbing.
I mean,
the
best way to describe it in my eyes, like the way I understand Midsommar, it's, let's say for instance that you as a modern human being ended up in the Aztec capital.
Yeah.
And you watched all the shit that happens.
Or like this human sacrifices or the like weird tradition. You're like, what the fuck?
It's almost they're stepping you back in time into a more primal version of humanity.
Okay.
And like the weird, like kind of like disassociation your brain has to make.
Because you're like, this is the present, and these people are just completely insane, basically.
Yeah, and modern sensibilities would be like, this is savage, but this is what these people are.
See, like, the first, I guess, scene where you're like, oh, this is fucked up, or this is disturbing, is that in this village, when you're, I think it's like 65 or something like that, instead of living longer, like, even if you could, you just kill yourself. And there's this ritual, there's like this whole where they just kill themselves. The whole village watching, like, oh, this is respectable. Yeah. And these people that are watching, they're outside, they're like, what the fuck? Why are you watching this? Or like, why are you applauding or whatever? And they get upset. And then the leaders are like, this is okay. Like, this is what we do.
Yeah.
So it's Logan's Run and Green Inferno. Slap them together.
Yeah. And then it gets more, I guess, creepy as the locals are like, hey, these people don't accept our culture.
Yeah.
And they're disrespecting us because at one point this dude pisses on like
a sacred tree.
Okay.
Oh, they fucked them up.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do have 2 questions. So are these people like everyone's in the present? Were they on like vacation? Like, did they move into the town?
They meet a guy, right?
So they're all in college.
Okay.
And this guy is from this village.
Okay.
And they're all friends with this guy, and he's like, "Hey, let's make a French trip or whatever, a guy's trip, when we go here to celebrate Midsommar." And then there's relationship issues with one of the dudes and his girlfriend.
Okay.
And so they invite her reluctantly, but they invite her. And his whole purpose was to invite people to this event so they could do all their fucked up shit.
Huh.
Right. But that's how they got there. Because one of them was a PhD student. No, 2 of them.
Yeah.
And one of them was writing a paper on that event.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my second question, I forgot.
And then, I mean, and the movie does have a very underlying theme of like female empowerment and stuff like that as well, because that's a whole, like the main character's arc is all about that kind of like. It's almost like her embracing that like primal side of humanity to like take a hold of her life.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really good. I really like her character. Yeah. Just like the shit that she goes through to get to where she would be at eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll probably sit through Midsommar at some point. It's
all the male characters are shit.
Perfect. I love shitty male characters. I love it.
You're like, yeah, he deserves to die.
You're sitting there, he's like, losing fingers slowly. You're like, yes.
I remember I went to go watch it with some coworkers, and then there's this famous scene where it's literally porn.
Is it the cum scene?
And we were just like, I look at my coworker, I'm like, what the fuck are we watching, dude? And then afterwards, you're like, I feel closer to you guys because we watch porn together.
Well, I got to see someone come together.
I can't remember if that's what the line is, but something like that.
I don't want to spoil it because it's an experience.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll sit through it at some point. I'll sit through it during our spooky month.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's just the discomfort of seeing something old with modern sensibilities.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
There is a little, I guess, supernatural at first.
It probably is because if you deal with culty stuff, you always get into.
But it never gets touched upon again.
No, because I think it's more just like it's more the ideas behind
Yeah.
what they believe more than it actually being a force.
I mean, they were awful high, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot. There's a lot of drugs.
Well, not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
But yeah.
College students in a cult. Drugs, alcohol, and sex.
I mean, we say a cult because it's it's culty, but it is just like
It's
a village.
It's
a village.
community.
Yeah,
It's still a cult,
Yeah.
technically, by the definition. But yeah,
It's great.
okay, I'll sit through
But
it.
yeah, most of the
Midsommar.
movies are like, what the fuck? Why?
I actually went through that movie.
You went through that movie?
I love
Well, that was a movie that I read about it, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch it.
It won't give him nightmares.
It'll probably give me nightmares.
I do like what's it called? That director's cut.
How long is that?
It's very long.
Oh.
I heard.
like
I
3
didn't.
hours
I didn't touch that one. I didn't touch that one at all.
Do that. If you said it was like 220, I'd be like,
I think
okay, I can sit through
the
that.
main move I think is like
220.
220.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Fuck.
It's a slow burn, mate.
Yeah, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
I can deal with that. Okay, I guess I'll go to my number 2. It's 2, 2.2, 2.4, 2.
Evangelion?
4 movies. 4 movies I decided to jam into one.
Saw.
Fuck you. Stop saying
Sharknado.
Damn it.
Is it
You got
Sharknado?
it. No.
I was like, oh shit.
I do want to do. We gotta do a shitty Sharknado podcast.
Like the sci-fi B movies.
Yeah.
Like
We'll
or just
find-
like in my mind, right? Because this is how I always see it.
Yeah.
Was the B tier monster movies.
Yeah.
Whether
yeah.
like things like Eight-Legged Freaks or
Yeah.
like Sharknado.
I
or
love
like
those.
all
Those
the
movies are so
or
good
all
in
the
my
things
mind.
I grew up watching in fucking sci-fi, like
Yeah.
what is it? The Relic, I
Yep.
think is one. All those other ones.
I want to do one where it's all like the killer animals. So you have,
Oh,
Instead
Lake Placid.
Yeah.
yeah, or like the one with the ants.
Yeah.
Or the one with the birds.
Tremors.
oh. No.
That's a
Oh.
Thanks killing is what he's
Thanks-
talking about.
Yeah. The birds.
The birds.
Are we
and
gonna-
shitty
are we gonna
from
make you-
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Are we gonna make you watch the original Alfred Hitchcock The Birds?
I've
Or
seen
watch
it.
the
Oh,
new
yeah.
one
That's
too.
why I don't trust birds, dude. They'll poke my eyes out. And people are like, no, you're dumb. That doesn't happen.
Are you
Bro.
Are you stupid? But we got glasses. We're fine.
So you think through 2 crowds gonna come and just take my glasses and the other 2 gonna come and pow, pow, pow?
They might. They're smart.
They're smart. They probably do that. Okay.
Okay, what was it?
So serious. My number 2 movie is I have. I'll give you.
franchise.
The 2 franchises I
Okay,
slapped
okay.
together. It's The Grudge and The Ring.
Oh, okay.
But the Japanese versions.
Ringu.
Ringu and Ju-on.
Ju-on, yeah.
I think these movies, like the original movies, are just really good. So the movie that fucked me up the most is probably The Ring, because I saw The Ring at a very young age.
Same.
There's 2 scenes that have fucked with me all my life, and it's the bug in the eye.
Oh yeah.
That one's fucked up. And then when she pulls out like the fucking clump of hair out of her mouth,
Uh-huh.
that one fucks me up so much. I don't know why.
So-
it like makes me physically gag.
So between this and The Mummy, this is why he doesn't like bugs.
Makes sense.
Yeah, probably.
Makes sense.
Probably.
I remember watching the American Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
same.
I was like 9 or something.
Uh-huh.
I remember I was at Eric's house when he lived in California, and we decided to like prank call his sister. So if you're
Oh,
watching,
my
we're
God.
sorry. But we called the house from from the inside.
Yeah.
7 days.
She answers the phone. We're like 7 days. It was stupid. She freaks out.
Oh, man.
She was also like 6.
Yeah,
7,
yeah,
so,
probably.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot the other scene that fucked me up. I don't know why it fucked me up. Is with the horses when they go insane and they run off the fucking cliff.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Don't know why that part fucked me up as a kid, but I can always remember it to this day.
The fucking imagery of that movie is just so weird.
I
It's
actually
so
think
bonkers.
the English version of The Ring is actually really good.
It is very good. I do
The
like it.
Grudge is a piece of shit. I would argue that The Grudge, all of them are really bad. You could say the first one's decent like, for a remake,
Yeah.
but I would say Ju-on and The Ring, like the original versions, they have this like creepy vibe. You get like the weird, like I guess they're younger women to girl age period, and the way they move, it's almost like zombie-ish, but obviously not. And there's nothing you can do about these people. Like zombies, you could kill, and
You can't even hide.
No,
They'll follow you.
Yeah, they
until
fucking
kill you.
go through everything. They don't give two shits. One comes out of a TV.
I mean, and I think that's like the main horror element of it, right? The inevitability of what
death,
this thing is.
basically.
Yeah.
But
Like you drew the short straw, and now it's coming for you.
yeah. The only reason why we really wanted to combine these two is because I can't decide.
And the verses.
Yeah.
The Versus movie is the best movie that they came out with the series.
It's a pretty fun movie to watch.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Perfect. I just love the idea. It's like if we summon both of them in the house together, they're both gonna fight each other.
So
Yes,
what?
Yes, that's how that works.
They're just gonna tear you apart both ways, and you're just fucked. But no, they do fight each other. But at the end, inner peace. They become one fucked up creature. I do remember like the sound they make, with the crackle, and then you have the kid that meows.
Oh,
Who's the
yeah.
cat. Those two things just fuck me up. But every time I watch it, I'm like, I'm happy I'm watching this at 9 a.m. So by the time I go to sleep, I'm still fucked.
They used to fuck me up, and then you watch Scary Movie,
Oh, yeah.
and that went away.
Fucking
I don't know. I mean,
downstairs.
I've seen some dojins that make the ring not
Oh,
as freaky anymore.
And that's my number twos is I'll put The Ring, Grudge. But watch the Japanese version if you really want to watch good versions of it.
I'm sure they're all on Amazon Prime, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
only one you can't watch is
The Verse.
Verses. That's on Shudder.
Shudder.
We are
Sponsor us.
sponsored by Shudder.
Not sponsored, but
We're not. I
watch
wish we
it
were.
there.
But, you want to go?
Number one.
Our number ones. I
Number
want to see what
one.
our number ones are. Because mine's definitely different.
Pet
So-
Labyrinth.
No, because I mean, in
Crimson Peak.
No,
Crimson.
in
The Strain.
in the spirit.
Hold on. What's the fish? The girl fucks the
You're
fish.
thinking of Shape of
No,
Water.
Shape of
No,
Water.
no.
No, not Shape of Water. It's the one with the lighthouse and the fish that he never saw.
I saw that one.
I
Oh, you
saw
saw
I
it?
saw the lighthouse.
No. It's
Oh, the one on
Imagine-
Shudder.
Yeah, imagine
Yeah.
Shape of Water and the lighthouse.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Had a
Yeah.
baby.
The one you told me about. I saw
Yeah,
the
I
trailer
told
for
you
it.
should
Yeah.
watch
I know,
that
but I never
movie.
watched it.
Movie's great.
what was the other one? They pull the girl through this hole and she breaks her legs with fairies.
What?
Oh, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
That one.
No.
Oh.
Damn.
No.
Okay,
No.
I'm out of movies.
You're out of movies because you haven't seen this movie.
Kronos.
I thought about Cronus. I did, but no.
Damn.
You picked like the one Guillermo movie that I. So
Pinocchio.
it's not out yet. I mean, you can say Nightmare Alley as well, but that one's not out yet.
We
either.
gotta name them all
That's in
before
a
he
couple
gets to
months.
talk.
Don't be afraid of the dark.
Why'd you
You
say
already said
that?
that one.
Shit. Oh, what's the other one? Where it's like the books has scary movies in them or scary stories and they come back to life.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
That one.
Oh,
No,
the TV
that's
show.
also
right?
that's also produced by him.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, if we're gonna go by his productions, let's see. There's Mama. There's El Orfanato.
Mom was lame.
That one is super lame. I do like The Orphanage. The Orphanage is really good.
I gotta watch that one.
That one's good. But no, because I had to pick a Guillermo film, I picked The Devil's Backbone.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
So,
I didn't-
I mean, I don't feel like Pan's Labyrinth to me, even though it does, I think, have, I guess you could
It's
say,
horror elements.
horrific elements in it.
Yeah.
It's the darker side of. I always feel
Fairies.
well. This is the thing in my head. Horror has always just been like the darker side of fantasy, because
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because if you look at back of what fantasy was or the idea of fairy tales, most of them are like beware of the thing that comes out in the dark,
Yeah.
right? Because
Or you watch on TV.
Sure. Because it's meant to keep kids,
Yeah.
whatevers, and teach them all these things. And so obviously a darker or like tapping into the original of what a fairy tale is. Obviously, it's going to bring out those horrific elements, whether in people or in the thing. But I wanted to keep it more like in the spirit of what the other films I picked were and stuff. Because that one I feel like is a more abstract notion of what horror is.
Okay.
While The Devil's Backbone is a little bit more on the nose. Because it is a ghost story.
Yeah.
It involves ghosts and creepy things and hauntings and like the darker portions of people's psyche, and there's like psychological elements to it. The Devil's Backbone is a movie where you can still see that's the movie where Guillermo's like refining what he is and what he does. Which obviously Pan's Labyrinth I feel like is like the full product of him reaching that space.
Okay.
The Devil's Backbone is like, I guess you could say that step right before that. And I mean, Guillermo also has a way and a notion of like using monsters and horrible things to show how people are more horrible than what the creature itself is. So it's creepy but like almost like the notions or the ideas or the history of these ghosts is more horrible than the ghost itself.
That makes sense.
And that's what the Devil's Backbone is. It's a portrait of the horrors of humanity. Because it takes place, same thing as Pan's Labyrinth, around the time of the Spanish Civil War and stuff like that. And so it taps into the horrors of wars and poverty and all these things and the horrible things that people do in those circumstances.
To survive, basically.
Yeah, and how those ghosts come to haunt them.
Makes sense.
It's a good movie. You should watch it.
I'll have to watch it.
But it's my number one.
Seen it. Or I think I have seen it, but it was so long ago. Yeah, I just can't remember. I feel like I have. I've obviously seen most of his other work at this point, so.
Can't believe you didn't choose at the Mountain of Madness.
You mean that never happened? Because Prometheus came out?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What's that movie? Prometheus?
What does that movie have to do with at the Mountain of Madness?
What do you mean what has to do with the mountain? It's almost like almost one for one, like
No.
the story of the Mountains of Madness.
No.
No, that was about the guy who stalks you on a hill, but they moved from a hill to a mountain.
Sure.
The Mountain of Madness doesn't have aliens
It does.
that suck your face.
Similar.
Or suck your dick.
It does have aliens, though. That's the whole point of At the Mountains of Madness. It's about aliens.
They're not aliens, dude. They're monsters.
They're aliens.
Monsters.
The book literally says they come from space.
That doesn't make them aliens.
Yeah.
They build cities. They're freaking aliens.
There's aliens on Earth, too.
Yeah. My number one, it's you'll never guess.
Are you afraid of the dark?
No.
Are you not afraid of the dark?
Yes.
I love that one.
The Toxic Avenger.
That movie's
What
great.
the fuck? I would have never.
That movie's
never
fucking
thought
great.
he would've
There's a
put
new
that
one
in
coming
there.
out too.
Yeah.
There's a remake of it.
The OG is fucking great.
The Toxic Avenger
It's
is
such a fun
so
watch.
good.
So why'd you put this as your number one? This blows my mind.
It's such a fun watch with like friends.
Yeah.
It's a really good. It's not even scary,
No.
but
It has that. It has the
it has that fact.
scary
Yeah.
elements, but
It's just so fun because it's all the shitty. It's just fun.
he won't sit there and watch fucking old shitty movies anymore. And he's got Toxic Avenger as
Oh
number
my God,
one.
the Toxic Avenger.
It's so ridiculous.
It is. I think this is a great movie. I just would have never thought it would come out of your mouth.
Yeah, that's the last movie I would have expected coming from you.
Told you were never gonna get it.
I would have been like Hereditary. Like, okay, that makes sense. But I don't know. I like Toxic Avenger.
It's a good movie.
It hits that like time period where it said you get the campiness of the.
It's so ridiculous.
Was it like when did it come out?
80s?
I was thinking 70s.
70s?
I'll
look
look
it
it
up.
up. We have technology.
We have technology, but I feel like this movie hits that like time period really good, where it has that super campiness, but it still has like the monster feel.
Toxic Avenger.
1984.
The Toxic
Okay.
Avenger is what Malignant should have been.
Yes.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I do want to argue with Bob. I thought you were going to put Malignant as your number one. You
Yeah,
gave it a 12 out of 10, motherfucker. What the fuck?
These are 20s out of 10.
Oh, my. These are,
I mean, he
These
picked
are on its
he
own
picked a
other
movie that's the
scale.
better version of Malignant.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I do love the idea. Oh, I can't believe this is number one. What the fuck?
Completely recommend. You can watch it sober. You can watch it not sober. And it's great.
I would argue watching it not sober might be funner. Because it just hits that campiness.
That's such an out of left field pick.
See, this would have been my pick, or like in my mind, he would have picked maybe top 6, like in the
Oh,
recommended.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good choice. It's a good choice. I give him a round of applause
Thanks.
for going out of nowhere on this one. blows my mind.
I don't want to spoil it because I think it's like
Yeah.
one of
No,
Atomic's
it's good. It's good.
We'll probably come to it at another point
Yeah.
anyway when
When
we
the
get to,
remake comes out.
Yeah, when
It's
we get to
fucking
like
great.
B movies.
Yeah.
We'll probably go to that.
best B movie I've ever seen.
Okay, this is my turn for my number one. It's Toxic Alien.
All of them.
I was wondering.
Alien.
I was really wondering if someone was gonna put it because
I love Alien.
When we were talking about it like stuff beforehand, that was one of the ones that popped into my head. I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, I forgot about Alien."
Alien is like my number one like horror genre movie. This is like, you know how we're talking about these are movies that we've probably seen more than once. I've probably seen this movie like 30 times.
Yeah, I've seen that movie a lot.
Like personally, I like Alien better than Aliens because you get the horror element, and this is when you first get the like monsters coming in. You don't know what's going on. You get the fucking face hugger, and you're like, oh, we're fine. And this also has the scene where she's taking out the thing, or is it Aliens? I can't remember.
Or she's what?
Where the robot cuts her open.
That's Prometheus.
No.
No,
I think
it happens
I don't
in
think it's the
Alien.
first one.
Is
like,
it Aliens?
It's probably
I
the
think-
second one. Yeah.
Okay. I remember that scene fucking me up too. But this was the movie that I was talking about that I watched it as a young kid that I probably shouldn't have.
Oh, Alien.
I think that what scared me about it is not the monster itself, but the fact of that he's chasing you throughout this spaceship.
Constantly.
And as a kid, I'm like, bro, if someone chased me, it's over.
But he's also he's having fun with it.
It's
not
smart.
Like,
Yeah.
It's not like he's like just running at you, kill.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm be
gonna
sneaky.
creep at you. Oh, they saw me. I'm gonna run across the hall. Boom, kill. He's like, what was that?
I gotta work for my kill.
You know, the alien is a cat.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Maybe that's why I don't like most cats because they're all
You
assholes.
see,
and they
that's
run by.
why in the movie when the cat's there and the guy's chasing the
Yeah.
cat leads him to the alien because he's like, Yo,
Mother.
we're bros.
I got you, dude.
We're the same.
But I
Cat was
think-
best character.
Yeah.
You're telling me Robot's not best character?
Ooh, that's like a best character.
You mean Bilbo?
Bilbo. A tall Bilbo. Tall Bilbo.
Tall Bilbo?
But I don't know. It's one of those movies where I feel like they did the monster just
It's so
perfectly
good.
in the first one. The second one, I still think is like I'll give the first one like a 10 out of 10. I think the second one's like a 9.5 out of 10.
I mean, it's
then it
funny
goes
when
like
you
this.
it's funny when you go back and watch Alien, right? Because you always remember, you know, the creature and stuff like this. But I feel like it has Alien has like the what I call it's like Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah.
You watch Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs have a collective of about 20 minutes of screen time over the course of a 2-hour and 20-minute film.
Yep.
Alien does the same thing, but the creature is just so memorable. It just sticks here because it's funny because we watched it the other time again, like
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
all watched it, and I'm like,
Like a year ago.
and you forget like how much of a slow burn it is at first and how it
starts off
established
really
everything,
slow.
but I think because it gives you such time to be with these characters and stuff, when the alien does come in and everything goes to shit, you're like, oh fuck.
And it's also creepy. Like the face huggers are really creepy
Yeah.
looking because they were like that could be a real thing. And then the alien.
is.
The only thing with the weird part with the alien was the double mouth. I never understood that.
Oh, and the little one.
Yeah, and you're like, why does it have a double one? You got a mouth already. Just fucking
Because he
shoot.
has a pile driver in his head.
It's true. It's true. What do you think the fucking big rat back is? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a
you're
piston that fucking shoots it forward.
And what I do love about this movie too is I mean it is an allegory, right? It's because it's about like the idea is the horror of like it's sexual horror is what it is.
It's great.
Yeah. I mean when H.R. Geiger designed the alien, the head is very clearly
A what?
a penis.
Censor him.
It's phallic shaped. And everything from like how the face hugger does what it does to like the idea of it like raping you and impregnating you with this thing that bursts out. I mean, that's what it is. It's like sexual horror that's not presented in that way. So, because it's just this horrible alien creature, but it is like alluding to all that stuff.
I think one more scene that I want to talk about that I really liked was when it burst out of the guy's chest and then it
Start singing.
started dancing. It was like, "Hello, my baby.
Hello, my darling. Hello.
That scene was so memorable to me.
You've seen Spaceballs, right?
I have seen some.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I was like, what the fuck? What?
Scurries across the floor.
I knew exactly what you were going for the moment you started.
Oh god.
But that's all I got really to say about Aliens. Prometheus, probably the best of the
What's
genres.
Prometheus 2 called?
Covenant?
Covenant.
Alien.
Best one.
Best video
so
game,
bad.
some would say, too.
The new Alien's pretty fun.
I heard
The new one? I've heard the new
The one
one's pretty
before
fun.
this was not.
I heard Isolation was pretty good too.
Yeah, but that's playing Alien.
Yeah.
You're playing the legit.
Oh, you know what I loved about that game? Like my
What?
favorite part of Isolation
What's that?
is when you the portion where you're going through the logs and you see the Nostromo when the Nostromo goes to that planet from their eyes.
Yeah.
When you go into like the ship and stuff like that.
I think it's a good
favorite fucking
It's a
part
good
of that
tie-in
game.
to
Yeah.
everything.
Favorite part of that game.
I hope if they do another one, it does. They go back to something good.
Or reboot the whole series.
Ooh, yeah. Let's start from the
No.
beginning, guys. But
I thought that's what Prometheus was.
what was that? Never heard that movie. Prometheus? Never heard. But,
Well, that's it for this episode. Unless you have any news you want to discuss.
no, I got no Halloween news. Check out our Halloween stuff.
You guys got Halloween stuff?
No.
No.
Oh.
But we will maybe.
Sure. We're going to draw pumpkins.
By Halloween?
And, spooky ghosts.
You should make a pumpkin with an ahegao face.
Would you buy it?
Who are you asking? Eddie or the
Eddie.
shop?
I just thought it was funny.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
A carved pumpkin with a ahegao face.
Shirts. Pumpkin with an ahegao face.
Spooky.
Spooky.
It's the Scream guy, but his face is an ahegao mask. It's
do-
Jason with an ahegao mask.
I do want to say something. Looking at the back thing that I put up, there's only one movie we all that someone chose on here, and that's Midsommar.
Brightburn?
No.
Well, I heard this movie was garbage. I heard that movie was garbage.
Which one? Hellfest or Bright?
Brightburn.
Bright's garbage.
I saw that one.
That
was
movie's garbage.
Pet Cemetery's garbage.
This
Ready or
one
Not's
was
okay. That one's funny as shit.
This one's okay.
It's funny for
It's-
what it is.
yeah.
It's a very niche type of
Oh, yeah.
humor.
I love Adam Driver in that movie.
I
Though.
do love Adam Driver.
I'm just doing it off the screen.
Is this the movie with the alligators in the
I don't know.
house?
I can't tell what that
I like
is.
that movie.
Yeah, that is that movie, right?
Hereditary is good.
I heard that one's garbage.
Where you're not.
That
one's
eh.
What is this one?
Escape Room was pretty fun to watch. This one?
Yeah.
I don't know what that one is.
Good
Happy
question.
Death Day and
Oh.
Get Out invite you to.
It's Happy Death Day 2, I think.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
You know, the
Anyway.
first one's a fun watch.
Is it? I haven't
Yeah.
watched it yet.
But it's just Ray Zero.
Yeah. That's a movie. It's Groundhog Day.
Damn, where's we should watch. We should do a podcast.
Isn't The Strangers supposed to be okay? Like the original one of it?
Oh, I've never seen it.
Is that what, like, when they come to your house? and
Yeah,
shit?
they have like the masks.
Is that a reboot?
I don't know.
I like the original.
Yeah, I think.
We should do a podcast where we talk about anime, but we watch the live action like movies that have tie-ins basically to anime.
Are we gonna watch Inception?
Yeah, Inception, Vampire Hunter.
Are we gonna watch
that.
Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah, all these.
I mean, they only have one shot from an anime movie,
Oh, no,
but it's
that's
still.
Oh, I was gonna say, you want to watch Terraformers live action?
No. We're not. We don't watch the direct live action of the anime.
Oh,
We watch a movie
Yeah.
that is basically that anime.
Yeah.
What's the one that's
So we
like,
watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer.
No. There's a movie where there's like parallel Earths or whatever, and like there's a person going through it, and there's like a.
Oh, I know which one.
relationship.
I know which one you're
That
talking about.
Yeah.
It's like Potem Inverted, except not
Except-
sci-fi,
Yes.
fantasy.
Weird.
Yes.
Never heard of this one.
I think it's called like Upside Down or something like that.
Upside
like that.
down.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that. I don't fucking remember it
I
anymore.
don't remember.
Just end the.
I know.
podcast.
Okay.
End the podcast.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. See ya next time.
Support our shop. All the link. We have links for everything.
Comment your top 5.
Subscribe, and then unsubscribe
Subscribe.
because that seems to be a thing nowadays.
Subscribe.
Like,
Beat the
subscribe.
Russian bots.
Buy more Russian bots. Thank you. Goodbye.
All right. See ya.